Hey leaders, I hope that you all have been prospering in your purpose and dominating in your destiny. It is Coach Takumbo here with another installment in our public speaking series. And in this video, we are going to discuss some insecurities that many of us have as public speakers, whether you are a teacher, a presenter, you have these insecurities that we all need to get over in order for us to be the best presenters. We need to address these insecurities. And I want you to type that's me in the comments if you relate to any of these 5 areas that I'm going to mention in this video. But before I jump in, I want you to go ahead, do me a favor. If you have not subscribed already, I want you to go ahead and hit that subscribe button. There's so much content on here about writing, speaking, leadership, because one of the things I'm passionate about is helping emerging leaders to discover their voice, identity, and purpose so that they can dominate in their destiny. So make sure you hit that subscribe button and also like this video already because this is going to be really good because a lot of us have these insecurities. If you are like me, I've been able to have the privilege or have the opportunity to teach Bible study, to teach online courses, to be a public school teacher. And so these are some insecurities that generally run through my head. And when I speak to other teachers, when I speak to other leaders, preachers, speakers, these are the same things that we all go through. So I want to help us to overcome these areas. One thing that a lot of us go through is us, number one, having way too many notes and not enough time. One of the things that you're going to do is make sure that you respect the time that is given to you. That is something that I love to do. When someone gives me a set amount of time to speak, I make sure that I set the parameters, I'm in their boundaries, and I try not to go over as much as possible. And I believe that being a public school teacher has taught me this skill set that I need to figure out what I need to take out, what I need to, how I need to adjust, how I need to move, maneuver through this lesson because there is a time limit. I want you to type in the comments time limit. If the time limit makes you scared, maybe you have way too much to say. And so this is what I want you to do. I want you to go ahead and get out of your system when you're planning. I want you to get out of your system all the information that you think that you are going to present, even though you know you don't have time to present all that information. What you're going to do is make sure that you highlight or you put in bold on your document or on whatever you are using. If you're printing out your presentation, I want you to bold the things that you must say. And I want you to put in parentheses or to take out at the end things that are just unnecessary or they're just extra and put it on a separate document. If you know that after at the end of this, after you've written out all the things that you want to say and you know that some things are just unnecessary or you're not going to have time for that, go ahead and put it in parentheses or put it on a different document or move it to the bottom so that you don't get tempted to share that when you are presenting. Also, you may never know or you never know where you're going to use this information. So don't just get rid of the information, put it on the bottom or make a separate document. But what I want you to do is to bold out or to highlight the most important points on that document. These are the things that you must say. Number two, a lot of us go through this where we think, wow, I need to share more information. I'm so mad that I did not share this information. How many of us have these gripes? We get out of a speech or we get out of teaching something, and then we're like, wow, I forgot to say this. I forgot to say that. I want to help you out. Your audience does not have a clue that they're missing information. Only you have that information. Only you know that you're missing that information because only you have your notes. And so sometimes we beat ourselves up. We go through negative self talk because we are sharing with ourselves that we didn't share enough information. But what if you shared just enough for that audience and they got everything that they needed in that time span? You may have other opportunities to share this information, but I want you to release yourself and to be easy on yourself because you can't give them all of the information, especially if you've been studying a topic for so many years. You're actually going to do them a disservice and overwhelm them if you give them too much information. So there was a book that I read about making information stick. And so what are the 3 things that you want your audience to just remember? Memorable is better than overload. I'm going to say this again. Memorable information is better than information overload. Number three, sometimes we feel like we have to go in a different direction and we have to go off of our notes because you are picking up what's going on in the room. You are reading the room. And if you are a person that speaks quite often, you know that this can happen, especially if you're a preacher. You know that this is going to happen, where God is going to give you information right on the spot that you didn't have in your notes. You need to be comfortable practicing this and moving in that direction, because you never know that the audience that you're talking to needs to hear this information. And so just because it's not written in your notes doesn't mean that you shouldn't maneuver or you shouldn't pivot in the middle of your presentation. Trust the God inside of you. Trust yourself that if you pivot off of your notes, that this is going to be excellent, or this is going to be life-changing for your audience. Because at the end of the day, your speaking gift is not about you, it is about blessing other people. It is about being used to present a message to the people that you're called to so that they can see liberation in an area of their life. Maybe there's an area of darkness, or maybe there's an area in their life that needs to be lit up, and you are the match. You are just being used in order to light up this area in their life. And so if you feel like God is pulling you in a different direction, if you feel like, man, I got to move out of this, what I thought I was going to say, I'm not going to say it right now because I believe that the audience needs this. You got to trust yourself. Don't hold back. And I feel like when you leap, you're going to get all the information that you need. This has happened to me time and time again. And so I know that you're going to be successful not having to read off of a script, right? Number four, distractions. As a public school educator, there's so many outbursts in the classroom all the time. But you know what allows me to make sure that I don't get derailed or I don't miss out on what I'm supposed to be teaching for the rest of the audience is because I'm prepared. And so I have a mission in my mind. So I'm not going to let a distraction, I'm not going to let someone cry, a crying baby, to distract me or derail me from the mission at hand. If you are a preacher in that way, or you teach Bible study, pray over the room before you get in there. Make sure that you understand that you are the authoritative figure because you are the person with the microphone. You are the person speaking. And so you have the ability to command your room and to make sure that your room is managed well and managed appropriately, because you dictate what happens in that space. And so you dictate whether or not you want this distraction to get bigger. There are some things that I just simply ignore, even in the classroom, because I don't want to give attention to somebody that's trying to derail me from the message that I have at hand, because there's other students, there's other people that need to hear this message. And so in order for me to continue to move forward, I have my notes, I know what I'm going to talk about. And so I make a decision to de-escalate things by not paying too much attention to it or not allowing it to derail me from my train of thought. Number five, one of the things that hinders a lot of us from being successful as public speakers is that we are afraid of people's faces. You cannot be afraid of people's faces. And sometimes we think that we're not getting through certain people, or we're not, or our speech or our presentation is not as great as we think it is, because you are so stuck on what people's faces look like. And that cannot be your barometer for success, because you never know what a person is thinking about. You need to even think about your own self. You have sat in several different presentations where you were not even in the room, and your face was probably not connecting with the speaker, or your face expressions were not connecting with the speaker because you were thinking about something else. You were thinking about what you had to make for dinner. You were thinking about your children's schedule, or you got a crazy text message. So I want you to think about this. If you see people in the audience and you're afraid of their faces, or you're like, wow, they look bored, or this person looks this like this, and you're allowing that to overwhelm your thoughts or inundate your thoughts, that's going to hinder you from showing up as a confident speaker, because you never know what's going on in the lives of people. But if you do see that you need to switch, because like I said before, you feel like something's pulling you, you feel like God is pulling you in a different direction, you feel like the audience, your audience is really loving one part of the speech, then figure out how to read the room and go in that direction. I'm not saying that you should continue in a direction that's not resonating or connecting with your audience, but I am saying that you shouldn't base your presentation off of one or two, three people's faces. And if they're not smiling at you, because oftentimes you don't even smile at the presenter, but I want you to practice smiling at people in the audience or smiling at the presenters from now on so that you can get that same energy when you're presenting as well. So 5 things that a lot of us need to overcome, a lot of insecurities, address them now so that you can show up like the authoritative figure, like the authority in that space. Number one, don't overwhelm people with information. Highlight with the information that you need to speak on what is a must say in your presentation. Number two, don't think that you did not share enough. Once again, you're the only person that has your notes so that your audience actually doesn't know that you didn't say enough, because all of us are always going to feel like that, right? Especially if you are a lifelong learner. Number three, if you feel like you're being pulled in a different direction and you didn't write these notes down, that's actually probably even better. It's probably going to hit your audience and it's going to really resonate with them the most. And number four, don't allow distractions to derail you. You need to stay on topic. You need to make sure that you are managing your room well and not allowing people to dictate that, to take you off of the road that you have already planned before coming here. Number five, don't be afraid of people's faces. Don't allow people's faces to hinder you from speaking with confidence, from being that bold person that you are. I want you to go ahead and let me know in the comments which one you are going to work on, which is an area that you always say after you present. I want you to tell me in the comments. I want you to subscribe if you have not already. And if this video helped you, go ahead and share this video as well. And I also want you to be connected to our community. So do that by clicking the link in the description box. You're going to get a free guide. It is an ebook, if you will, about how to reflect before the new year comes in as a leader. Some things are going to help shape you as a leader. So if you want to be connected to our community, download that so that you can be on our email list. And check out the links in the description box to stay connected with us on all other social media platforms. I'm going to build iconic dreams with you all later. Love you like a leader. I'll see you in the next video.